Okay, is it mid-year? No. Am I freaking out? Also no. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Today, I'm gonna be doing the mid-year freakout dive without freaking out and being quite late in the year. Hello, my name is Alba and welcome to my channel. This is my first time doing this tab, so I will link down below the original creators. That being said, let's just jump right into the questions. Question number 1. Best book so far? That would be The Fastest Way to Fall by Denise Williams. I read this book using the audiobook, which I really recommend you do, because it had a full cast narration, which basically means that the chapters that have the men's perspective are narrated by a man, and the chapters that are from the female perspective are narrated by a woman. And I think it elevated the experience of reading this book so much, and it really brought the book to life. So in this book, we follow Britta, who works for a lifestyle magazine and wants to become a feature writer there. When they give her the opportunity to write about a new body positivity app, she thinks it's her chance to prove that she deserves to be a writer full-time there. But one of her colleagues, who also wants to become a feature writer, is also given a chance to write about another fitness app that is becoming quite popular. And while Britta fights to get the job that she wants, her life will get messy, and she might start to fall for her fitness coach. Now, I love this book. Britta is really funny, and Wes, the romantic interest, is incredibly sweet, as any good boyfriend should be, really. But apart from the characters, I thought the dichotomy of talking about fitness from the two main points of view of keeping fit to be healthier with the app that Britta writes about, and keeping fit to improve your physical appearance with the other app was a really smart move, and it could lead to a really interesting discussion. Question number 2. Best sequel you've read? So I have 2 answers for this one. The first one would be The Right Move by Liz Stonforde. This book is part of a series, but it can be read as a standalone. I actually read it as a standalone. It is a sport romance book where the hero is a basketball player and her sister's best friend has to move in with him and become his roommate after a really bad breakup. And due to some things that happen, they end up fake dating. And the second book would be Break the Ice by L.A. Cotton. This book is also a sport romance book, so you can see that I've been reading quite a lot of sport romance books. But in this book, the hero is a hockey player and the brother's best friend of the protagonist. And I feel that if you like sport romances or the brother's best friend trope or any kind of variation of that, you would enjoy these books and you should definitely check them out. Question number 3. New release you haven't read yet but want to. Okay, I really want to read Practice Makes Perfect. It is by the author that wrote The Cheat Sheet, which I read last year, and it was such a fun experience. So I'm hoping that this one is also a really lighthearted and fun read. Question number 4. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I'm really looking forward to the release of Book Caught Up by Liz Stonforde. It's the next installment in the same series of The Right Move. And in this book, we follow the relationship with one of her neighbors, who is a single dad, and her nanny. I think that books that feature children are incredibly endearing, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Question number 5. Biggest disappointment. My biggest disappointment was Bite the Ice by L.A. Cotton. It is a sport romance that I read quite early in the year. It is a novella, but it felt extremely long, so that was bad. So the only reason I actually finished it and ended up not DNFing it was that I only had left like 10 pages. Question number 6. Biggest surprise. That would be In the Viscount's Arms. This book surprised me because English is not my mother tongue, so I thought that reading a historical fiction for me would be really hard. And this book actually was a really incredible experience. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So in this book, we follow a man who is in charge of a little girl, and she changes governor more than I change clothes. And in a nearby village, there's a woman called Octavia who has two sisters, and they have recently lost their parents. And to provide for her family, she doesn't want to marry. So she decides that as her father was a teacher and she's really well educated, that she will be the governess of this little girl. And in this book, we follow their relationship between Octavia, the little girl, and the man. I have to say that the relationship with the little girl was so endearing. Like, it felt like a really warm hug, and I loved every second of it. And the relationship with her boss was really interesting and at points really steamy. But overall, this book was a really enjoyable experience. It made me feel incredibly proud to be able to understand and read a historical fiction book. Question number 7. Favorite new author, debut or new to you? I feel like I need to have liked several books from an author that are not from the same series in order to consider them a favorite. So right now, I only have found 2 contenders, and those would be Denise Williams and L.A. Cotton. Now, I know what I've said, and I've only read 1 book by Denise Williams, but it turned out to be my favorite of the year, so I feel like she is a pretty strong contender. And in the case of L.A. Cotton, I've read several books from her that I've enjoyed, but they were all from the same series, so I feel like I should read more books from her, but from a different series. And maybe decide if it's her writing style or her way of creating characters that I like, or if it was only those books in particular. Question number 8. Newest fictional crush. Okay, that would be Ryan from The Right Move. In the book, the main character has gone through a really bad breakup. Her ex cheated on her, and despite all that happened, everyone sided with him. All the friends they have in common want them to get back together, and I feel like Ryan treats her right, really cares for her, and that's all that she really needed. Question number 9. Newest favorite character. That would be Rita from The Fastest Way to Fall, because I just adored her character. She's just incredibly funny and relatable. I particularly loved her writing style. Throughout the book, you get to see and read some of the posts that she does to promote the article that she will write on the app that she's focused on. And I adored them because of their honesty and authenticity, because it really felt like she was talking to a friend. Question number 10. Book that made you cry. That book would be better than the movies. I'm not sure if I actually cried because of the book or my headspace while reading the book. This book actually reminded me a lot of the TV show Never Have I Ever, because all of the Paxton and Ben situation, that is quite similar to the plot. So in this book, the main character is on her senior year, and as her mom died, she misses her so much because there are a lot of activities that she would normally do with her mom, like going to buy a dress for prom. So there are a lot of sections in the book where she tells you that she misses her, how much she would love her to be there, and that just really got to me. Question number 11. Book that made you happy. Okay, this shouldn't be this hard. Okay, let me check. This is a bad sign. There must be other books. Right? Right? Oh, I can't believe I forgot about this one. It even has happiness in the title. Well, the book I'm talking about is Happiness for Beginners. Now, I know it sounds like a non-fiction book. It isn't. It's actually a fiction book, but it does include some facts about happiness. In this book, we follow Helen, who is in a midlife crisis after her divorce. And so she decides to enter a wilderness survival course to take it as a challenge and improve her confidence. And there she comes across Jake, who is his little brother's best friend. And we follow their relationship and Helen's self-development journey. This book made me really happy because, as you can probably tell by now, I really love the brother's best friend trope. Question number 12. Most beautiful book you've bought or received this year so far? Okay, I've got it. Let me go grab it. So that book would be Loveless by Alice Oseman. This was actually my favorite book of the year last year. I don't tend to buy a lot of physical books, but this book was actually designed by the author herself, and so as I loved the book so much, I decided to buy it. I would describe this book as an ode to asexuality and platonic friendships. In this book, we follow the story of Georgia, who feels like an outcast because she cannot relate to her friends having crushes or wanting to kiss and date people, and so she is trying to discover what her sexuality is and coming to terms with it. So we follow her through her discovery. I particularly love this book cover because it features the different characters from the book, even on the back. Just like in any other Alice Oseman book, this book features a really diverse cast of characters, and we get to see different portrayals of characters being in the asexual spectrum. So we get to see their different lives. Question number 13. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? I really want to read the first book in the Land of Stories series, which is The Wishing Well. This is a fantasy middle grade. I bought it last year and I was really excited about reading it, but then I was so overwhelmed with work that I couldn't get to it. So I'm hoping I can get to it before the year ends. Okay, and that would be all. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know on the comments down below which has been your favorite book of the year so far, and I will see you on the next video. But until then, keep turning those pages and diving into fantastic stories. See you. Bye.